He leads me to the green, where the restless find their rest. Lays me by the quiet waters, when the running's done my best. And the soul that came in ragged, with its edges wearing thin, finds the shepherd at the water, making whole what couldn't mend. I have known the kind of valley where the darkness has a weight, where the shadows press so heavy that the eyes forget the light. But the rod and staff beside me are the proof I ain't alone. Every step inside that darkness, he was walking me toward home. The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want, not in the valley, not under. He restores what the wilderness stripped from my bones. The shepherd knows my name, and the shepherd leads me home. The shepherd knows my name. He prepares a table where the enemy can see, the chair and pours the oil, and sets the feast for me. Not in secret, not in hiding from the ones who wish me gone, but in plain sight of the darkness, and the darkness must move on. The cup he fills keeps running over, running past the brim, and the goodness that he promised ain't depending on my whim. It's the nature of the shepherd, faithful, steady, unafraid, following me through every turning that my wandering has made. The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want, not in the hunger, not when hope is gone. He anoints what the battle had beaten and bruised. The shepherd finds the lost ones, and I've been that too. The shepherd knows my name. I will dwell inside his goodness all the days that I am given, not because the road was easy or the valley wasn't riven, but because the one who guides me through the shadow and the stone is the same one at the table, waiting, calling me back home. So let the valley do its worst, and let the darkness run its deep. I have known the voice that calls me, and that voice I'm bound to keep. Not a hired hand who scatters when the wolves begin to roam, but a shepherd who laid down his life to bring the wandering home. The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want, through the valley of the shadow, in the heat of the hunt, his mercy and his goodness shepherd never loses one, and that one is me without fail. The shepherd knows my name. Oh, he knows. He knows every turning, every fear. The shepherd knows my name. In the house of the Lord is where I'll dwell year after year. The shepherd knows my name. Even in the darkest valley, he was there. He was there. Even at the table, surrounded by my enemies, he was there. Goodness and mercy all the days of my life. The shepherd, always the shepherd. There is a place the storm don't reach, a place the arrow cannot find, where the shadow of the Almighty falls across the restless mind. Not a building and not a mountain, something older than a name, a covering that moves with you through everything that came. I have walked through the field where 1,000 fell beside my feet, watch the darkness send its arrows down the middle of the street. But the one who is my refuge had his wings across my frame, and what was meant to find me, child, it never found my name. Yeah. Under the shadow of his wings, I will not fear the night, not the terror of the darkness, nor the arrow in the light, not the sickness moving silent, not the plague that walks at noon. Under the shadow of the Almighty, nothing gets to me too soon. Under the shadow, I am covered. He will cover you with feathers, like a mother over young. He will be the shield between you and the war that hasn't come. The fowler laid a snare out, but the snare was seen from high, and the God who guards your going never once blinks his eye. You don't need to see the angels that he's stationed at your side. You don't need to count the arrows that he turned away in stride. Just the knowing that the highest made your dwelling his concern is enough to face the morning with a confidence to burn. Under the shadow of his wings, I will not fear the night, you call me,
I'll be with
you in the fire.
I
I will pull you from the burning
and I'll
cover you in grace. And the last thing that you'll look on is the glory of my face. You will walk on what once frightened you,
serpent and the stone
every shadow that once owned you,
will become your stepping throne.
not because you found the courage somewhere,
Buried in your will,
but because the God who loves you is your refuge and your shield. Under the shadow of his wings, I will not fear the night, not the darkness with its arrows, not the noonday in its spite. He'll command his angels for me, hold me so I cannot fall. Under the shadow of the Almighty, he is my refuge and my all.
under the shadow,
For the shadow, oh, the shadow
under the shadow,
of the wings of the Most High,
under the shadow,
where the thousand fall beside me,
under the shadow,
but his covering keeps me dry.
under the shadow.
I made the highest my dwelling, and no evil came near. Not because the darkness wasn't real, but because he was more real. Under the shadow, under his wings, under the shadow of the Almighty. I lifted up my eyes toward the mountains and the grave, when everything beneath me had been slowly stripped away. Ask the kind of question that the desperate always ask when the lifting of the burden feels too heavy for the bag. Where does all my helping come from? Where does rescue find its root? When the ground is given nothing and the vine has given fruit, to someone else it seems like, Lord, where do I turn my face? Then the answer rose up quiet from the most familiar place. My help comes from the Lord, who made the mountains that I see. The same hands that carve the heavens are the hands that carry me. He won't let my foot go sliding on the steepest, darkest ground. My help comes from the Lord, the only help I found. My help comes from the Lord. He said he never sleeps, he never closes down his watch, never leaves the post he's standing, never misses what I've got coming up against me in the morning or the turning of the night. He's the shadow at my right hand, keeping darkness out of sight. The sun won't find a way to burn what he has covered with his care. And the moon that rules the midnight has no power over there where his protection lays its hand. No entering, no pass. The God who never slumbers is the God who holds me fast. My help comes from the Lord, who spread the stars across the frame, the keeper of the universe, who knows me by my name. From my going out at morning to my coming in at night, my help comes from the Lord forever and from right now. My help comes from the Lord. I have walked into the seasons where the mountain looked too tall, where the lifting of my eyes was all I had before the fall. But the maker of those mountains was already looking down. Long before I ever raised my eyes, he'd seen me on the ground. He will guard the life you're living from the evil and the warn. He will meet you at the doorstep of every night and every morn. Not a guardian that grows weary, not a refuge that runs dry. My keeper never sleeps, he never even shuts his eyes. My help comes from the Lord, who holds the earth beneath his hand, who fashioned every mountain just to show me where to stand. When I lift my eyes to heaven and the question fills the air, my help comes from the Lord, and the Lord is always there. Oh, from the Lord, who made the heavens and the earth. My help comes from the Lord, from now until forever. He has known my every word. My help comes from the Lord. I looked up at the mountains, and the mountains pointed higher, all the way to the one who made them. My help was never in the mountain, my help was always in the maker, the Lord. My help comes from the Lord forever, forever. Yeah. Oh. Lord, I came running with nowhere left to run. Every shadow at my back, and I'm already coming undone. The lions in this valley got my name between their teeth, and the only place I'm safe is underneath your underneath. I bring my hands before you let you read them like a page. Every line of what I've done or left undone inside this cage. Judge me by the truth inside me, not the lies they threw my name. If I'm guilty, Lord, then hold me, but you know I played it straight. Rise up, Lord, in your justice. Rise up in your power. Be the shield around the righteous in the devil's darkest hour. The wicked digs his pit and thinks the darkness is his own, but the God who rules in heaven sits on an unshakable throne. Rise up and judge. You're the one who reads the marrow, reads the motive, reads the thought. You know what was sold for nothing, and you know what can't be bought. Every trap they laid in secret, you already saw it through. And the arrow that they aimed at me is turning back toward who? Oh, the sword they spit their sharpening was sharpened for themselves. The violence that they fashion is the wound their own hand deals. What goes out in darkness hunting comes back home to what it knows. And the pit they dug for my feet is the pit their own blood shows up. Rise up, Lord, in your justice. Rise up and make it plain that the righteous ain't abandoned in the lion's wide domain. Every scheme that hate constructed falls apart beneath your gaze. Rise up and judge in your righteous, holy ways. Oh, I won't take the vengeance that was never mine to hold. I won't answer fire with fire, won't let bitterness grow cold into something that destroys me from the inside while I sleep. The justice of the highest is a promise he will keep. So I lay the battle down, Lord, at the altar of your name. Not because the wound don't burn, not because the hurt ain't real, but because the God who sees me is the God who turns the wheel. Rise up, Lord, in your justice. Be the judge that I can't be. Let the truth inside your courtroom finally speak for what I've seen. I will give you thanks for justice. I will sing your name up high. The Lord who judges rightly is the reason I'm alive. Rise up and judge. Oh, rise up. Let the righteous find their ground. And I'll be standing when your gavel finally comes down. Rise up. I brought you my hands, Lord. Read them.
I brought you my heart.
Search. The rest belongs to you. The justice belongs to you. Oh, rise up and I will rest. Rise up. Nobody picks the one who stumbles at the starting line. Nobody calls the name of someone running out of time. The world has a particular way of choosing who belongs, and I have spent a lifetime on the outside of those songs. But in the middle of a moment, I was not expecting grace. Something broke the silence, and it called me by my face. You called me by my name, not the version I performed for everyone to see. You called me by my name, the one beneath the surface, the one only you could read. You called me by my name before I had a reason, and before I had it right. You called me by my name, and something in the calling brought me back into the light. You called me by my name. Ooh. This is the God who stood beside a well at noon, for the one the town had written off and given up too soon. Who looked up in a tree and saw a man that everyone else walked past without a second glance or plan. This is the God who called the fishermen away from nets and sea, not because he had credentials, but because he chose to see. And if he called the broken and the overlooked and small, then maybe the calling was never about the ones who had it all. Everything I'd done, every reason why the calling should have landed on someone. But he did not consult my history before he spoke my name, did not review my record or my moments full of shame. He called me like he knew me from before I drew a breath, like the name was already written long before my best. You called me by my name, not the version I perform for everyone to see. You called me by my name, the one beneath the surface, the one only you could read. You called me by my name before I had a reason, and before I had it right. You called me by my name, and something in the calling brought me back into the light. You called me by my name, not the version I pretend to be. You called me and the incomplete, you called me by name. Before I knew enough to answer, you were calling my name. And I am learning how to answer by name. You called me by my name. You called me by my name. You've been standing on the edge of what you thought would be the end, convinced that any moment now the ground would finally give. You've been white-knuckling every morning just to make it to the night, and calling it survival while forgetting it's a life. You've counted all the reasons why you should have come undone, but here you are still standing, even if you're barely straight. And something you're not giving credit to has kept you at the gate. This is the God who does not sleep and does not close his eyes, who is not distracted by the magnitude of someone else's cries. He lifts his eyes to every mountain that you have to face today, and he was already on the other side before you found the way. Your foot has not been moved, although you swore it would have slipped, because the one who guards your going has never lost his grip. You have not fallen yet, not because you're stronger than the weight you've had to carry. You have not fallen yet, because the God who never sleeps has never once grown weary. You have not fallen yet. Every step you thought would break you, he was underneath your feet. You have not fallen yet. The keeper of your life has never missed a single beat. You have not fallen yet. I know the tide that you're carrying is deeper than the bone, the kind that sleep don't fix because it lives below the zone, the kind that comes from fighting battles nobody else can see, from holding yourself together for the ones who need you to be free. He is not asking you to run when you can barely walk. He is just asking you to trust the one who holds the rock. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. He is your shade upon your right hand. He is more than you can number. The Lord shall preserve you from all harm, and his keeping will not fail you. He shall preserve your going out and your coming in from this day. This is not a promise for the easy. This is a promise for the ones who are about to give the floor. This is a God step feels impossible and the ground feels paper thin, look behind you at the road that you have somehow made it through. Every valley, every storm, every night that tried to break you true. You were not the one who held yourself through all of that alone. There were hands beneath your stumbling that you'll only see back home. And those same hands are under every step you take today. The God who kept you yesterday is keeping you the same way.
He is keeping you.
Right now, He
Is keeping you.
when you think you're going under, He keeping you.
He is keeping you.
He does not sleep,
He does not slumber.
He has not looked away from you, not once. You have not fallen yet.
You have not fallen yet.
Because He has not let you, and He will not let you. You have not fallen yet. God on the road, left the familiar behind without a map or a reason clear. Just a restlessness inside my chest that made it hard to stay here. The kind of leaving that don't have a destination in the name. Just a soul that needed moving and a heart tired of the same. Mile after mile the silence had a weight I wasn't ready for, and the road kept going further from the life I'd known before. But somewhere in the traveling through the uncertainty and dust, a presence started filling up the spaces I had given up. God on the road, not just waiting at the destination for me to arrive. God on the road, right here in the middle of the journey, keeping me alive. God on the road, in every mile of questions and every stretch of unknown. God on the road, walking close enough to touch me so I'd never feel alone. God on the road. This is the God who walked with two disciples on the Emmaus way, who didn't announce Himself but joined them in their disarray. They were talking through their broken hopes and didn't recognize His face. But something in the walking made the road a different place. He didn't wait for them to find Him at the end of what they sought. He met them in the middle of the road inside their doubt. And when He broke the bread, their eyes were finally open wide, realizing God had been with them the whole time on the ride. Every cross scared to see. But right beside me,
walking at the pace
of someone who had nowhere else to be. Not rushing me to get there, not ashamed of how I'm moving through, just present on the road with me, the way that only He can do. I don't know where this road is going, and I don't pretend I do, but I know who's walking with me, and that changes the whole view. The uncertainty is real, and the destination is unclear, but the one who made the road knows every mile from here. He is not a God who only meets you when you've arrived. He is a God who shows up in the questions and the drive. The journey started. He'll be there when the road runs out.
God on the road,
God on the road, not at the end,
right here, right now.
God on the road, walking with me. God on the road. Somewhere along the road, the colors started fading out. The things that used to move me stopped moving without a doubt. Not a dramatic breaking, more like paint left in the rain, slowly losing what it was, until it all looked the same. The worship felt like going through the motions of a song, and I kept showing up because I didn't know where else to belong. But something in the showing up was more than I could see, because the light was still burning even when it wasn't reaching me. The light of God is still here in the middle of the gray and the going through the day. The light of God is still here, not loud, not obvious, but present in the same old way. The light of God is still here. It doesn't need my feelings to be fully what it is. The light of God is still here, and the darkness has never once put out a light that's His. The light of God
is still here.
This is the God whose light shone in the darkness, and the dark did not and could not and has never overcome that spark. The same light that broke the void before the world had formed is the same light sitting quietly inside your tired storm. He does not dim because your season has grown cold and thin. He does not flicker with the weather of the place you're in. He is the Father of the lights in whom there is no shadow turned. And what He is does not depend on what you feel or haven't earned. I have sat inside the grave for longer than I'd like to say, where the prayers felt like they dissolved before they found their way, where the Bible felt like letters from a world I used to know, and the distance between where I was and where I'd been felt like a road. But even there, especially there, the light had not gone out. It was working underneath the surface of my every doubt, doing what the light does in the places we can't see, growing something in the darkness that was being made for me. The light of God is still here, in the middle of the grave and the going through the day. The light of God is still here, not loud, not obvious, but present in the same old way. The light of God is still here. It doesn't need my feelings to be fully what it is. The light of God is still here, and the darkness has never once put out a light that's His. Oh,
The light of God is still here.
the light is still here, even in this room. The light is still here, even in this season.
The light
Is still here, even when you stop believing it was the light. The light is still here. The darkness has not won. The darkness has never won.
The light of God is still here.
Still burning, still steady, still here, still here, still here. The light of God is still here. The light of God is still here.